Hey guys, here is 11.9, and actually we're going to be combining both 11.9 and 11.10. So go ahead and have both of those lessons handy because they're so similar and they fit together so easily. I just figure we'll go ahead, do both of them, and kick them both out at the same time. So when we look at our essential question, it says, how can you find the volume of a rectangular prism? And if you look at 11.10, it says, how can you use a formula to find the volume of a rectangular prism? So this one, we're looking at how we can find the volume, which we've already talked about before, and then after we do that, we're going to use a formula to find the volume. All right, so when we look at this first page, it says the base of a rectangular prism is a rectangle. You know that the area is measured in square units or units squared, and that the area of a rectangle can be found by multiplying the length times the width. Volume is measuring the cubic units or units cubed. When you build a prism, you add each layer of cubes. You are adding a third dimension or height. Okay, so the area of the base, what is the area of this base is what they're asking. So we have 3 over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of slanted. I can hardly see it. It is 4. So I know 3 times 4 would give me 12. So the area of this would be 12 square units. This is a flat 2-dimensional shape. When we start looking at 3-dimensional shapes, that's when we are going to be multiplying our length times width times how tall it is, or the height. Okay. This next one, if we look at it, says Sid built a rectangular prism shown at the right. Using 1-inch cubes, the prism has a base that is a rectangle and has a height of 4 cubes. What is the volume of the rectangular prism that Sid built? So you can find the volume of the prism in cubic units by multiplying the number of square units in the base by the number of layers or its height. So we know that the base is 12 because we found that up here. The base was 12, and then what you would do is you would multiply it by the number of layers there are. So we know 12, then we would have 24, then 3 layers would be 36, and then if we had 4 layers it would be 48. So we would multiply the height by 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 times 12 gives us 48. Okay. All right. Let's go to this back of the first page. It says relate height to volume. It says Tony stacks cube-shaped beads that measure 1 centimeter on each edge of the storage box. The box can hold 6 layers of 24 cubes with no gaps or overlaps. What is the volume of Tony's storage box? So what are the dimensions of this box? So we know it can hold 6 centimeters, or it holds 6 layers. And we know that we're looking for the volume, and it's got 24 cubes in each row. So there's 6 layers with 24 in each row. So the volume of each bead is 1 centimeter cubed. The storage box has a base area of, and that's what they said right here, it was 24 cubes. Sorry. Because that's how many that bottom row is. A box can hold 6 layers of 24 cubes. That means there's going to be 24 cubes in each row. So the height of this storage container is 6 centimeters because there were 6 layers. Now the volume of the storage box, we're going to multiply how many's in each layer. We have 24. That's our base area. And then our height was 6. So 24 times 6. If we multiply that over here, 24 times 6, I know that's 24, put down my 4, regroup my 2, 12, 13, 14. So it is 144 centimeters cubed. All right, it says another way is to use length, width, and height. So if we look right here, our length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our width is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 4 times 6. So it has a length of 6 centimeters, a width of 4 centimeters, and then the height, remember, was 6 centimeters. So then what we would do is we would multiply the base area, so the bottom two numbers, 4 times 6, and then multiply that times your height, which was 6. Or you could do 24 times 6, which is what we did, and we end up getting 144 centimeters cubed. So the volume of the storage box is 144 centimeters cubed. All right. So knowing that we know the volume equals our length times our width times our height, so the length of a rectangle, so I think they're wanting us to do this one. So the length of this rectangular prism is 4. Here's your length. Your width is right here, which was 5. The area, so that's the bottom layer, so that would be if I multiplied these two together, 4 times 5 is 20 inches cubed, because we found the area, not the volume. Now the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they give it to us right here, 6 inches. So the volume of the prism is, well, now I had to figure out the volume, so I'm going to multiply my 20 times 6, which gives me 120 inches cubed, because we're talking about the volume, so 120 inches cubed. All right, now we're going to do a couple of these together, and then I'm going to let you do some on your own, and then we're going to look at the next lesson just to refresh. The only difference between this lesson and the other lesson is they don't give you the boxes. They just give you the dimensions. So that's basically the only difference between the two lessons. So with this one, I'm going to write volume, and I want you to write this down, equals length times width times height. It's okay if it goes over a little bit. So now I'm going to do, my length is 2, my width is 3, my height is 3. So I'm going to do 2 times 3 is 6. Bring down my times 3. Now 6 times 3 is 18. So now my volume would be 18 centimeters cubed. All right, let's look at the next one. We're using the same formula because it's volume still. So we have 2 times our length is, or our width is 6, times our height, there's only 1. So 2 times 3 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, times 1 is still gonna be 12 inches cubed. All right, I want you to show your work like this. Make that little triangle just like I've been doing. Bring your answer to the bottom. She'll look very similar. All right, so you're going to, on your own, do 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, now let's look at the next page. Again, the only difference between the two is this one is showing the squares and this one is not. They're still giving you the dimensions. So that's the only difference between them. And we're not even going to do these because, I mean, let's do the first one. Mike has a box, is making a box to hold his favorite DVDs. The length of the box is 7 inches. So here's my 7 inches. The width is 5 inches and the height is 3 inches. What is the volume of the box Mike is making? Now this is one that, like, if you see it on a test, it's not going to give you a picture more than likely. So what you're going to have to do is you might want to draw a picture, or if you're doing it, volume equals length times width times height, I know that I can just plug in my number. So what's my length? My length is 7 times, what's my width? Go back, that's 5 times 5. Now what's my height? My height is 3. So then I would just multiply that together. And that's exactly what they're doing right here. You're just plugging in numbers. So now I know that, what's going to be easiest for me? All right, let's do 5 times 3 is 15. Bring down my times 7. Now I have 15 times 7. I'm going to multiply that over here on this side. That's 35. That's 10. So now I have 105. So it would be 105 inches cubed. Or 105 cubic inches. So we did all of this. We just did it in this little formula right here. All right. Flip to the back. All right, let's do these bottom ones. This one, you're finding the volume. This one, you're finding the unknown. These are the harder ones, so make sure you're paying attention as we're going through these. This one, they give us the length. Our length is 7 feet. Our width is 4 feet. We're just plugging these numbers in. And our height is 5 feet. So then we're just going to multiply. I'm going to multiply 4 times 5 because that's easier. I know that one's 20 times 7. So now 7 times 20 is 140 cubic feet. Yay! All right, this one says, find the unknown measurement. Well, they give me that 60 is my volume, so I had to figure out what is this unknown. So my length for this one is 5. My width for this one is 4. Here's my unknown. Don't know what that is. So now let's go ahead and multiply what we do know. We know that 4 times 5 gives me 20. So now what can I multiply by 20 to get 60? I could divide. So if I wanted to come over here and divide 20 into 60, that would give me my answer. So how many times will 20 go into 60? If you said 3, that would be the correct answer. So this area right here would be 3 centimeters. Now if you got something like 30 centimeters, just as a for instance, look at what that would look like. We have 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and if you put 30 centimeters, does that make sense? No, because this side is much smaller than these two. So make sure when you're plugging it in, it actually makes sense. All right, so these are the ones that we're going to do a couple together, and then I'm going to let you do a couple on your own. The first one says find the volume. Again, I'm going to write my formula. Volume equals length times width times height. I want you to do that every single time so that you remember it, and all you have to do is plug it in. I don't want you doing it in your head. So my length for this one is 2. My width for this one is 4. My height for this one is 5. Now I'm going to multiply. I know 4 times 5, that's easy. That's 20 times 2. So now 20 times 2 would give me 40. So my volume is not 40. It's for 40 feet cubed. So make sure you don't just put 40 because that's not the answer. It would be 40 cubic feet or 40 feet cubed. All right, so let's do this next one. Volume equals length times width times height. All right, so now I have my length is 4, my width is 4, my height is 9. So now I'm going to multiply. I know 4 times 4 is 16 times 9. So now I'm going to over here, 16 times 9. Let's see what that equals. 6 times 9 is 54. Put down my 4, regroup my 5. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it would be 144 centimeters cubed because we're talking about the volume. Hopefully you don't have any questions at this point. Hopefully it's just, these are just those repetitive. You just have to get in the habit of doing the same thing over and over again. All right, so I want you to do this one on your own. Pause the video, and then I want you to check your work. Hopefully you said 216 inches cubed because that would be the answer. If you did not get that, I want you to go back and look and see what you did. All right, so we're going to do another one where you're checking your work. So go ahead and pause the video and then unpause it to check it. All right, for that one, hopefully you got 192 feet cubed. If you did, yay, you got it. Great job, guys. All right, so the ones I want you to do on your own are 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the one where you have to figure out what's the missing measurement. Both of those are. You can do it though. Flip to the back. I want you to do numbers 9, number 10, and number 13 at the bottom. Okay? So don't forget to go back and finish up these on lesson 11.9. So finish up those. I didn't make you do any on the back. And then do 11.10. Good luck, guys. Ask me if you have any questions, please. Thank you.